Have you ever gotten to the end of your day and felt like you had absolutely nothing left to give? Your body is exhausted. You are mentally drained. And by that point, even the smallest task can feel so overwhelming. And you know what the frustrating part is? You are trying, you're going to bed early, you're working on getting quality sleep. But somehow, by the end of the day, you still feel worn out, still drained, still like life is taking more out of you than you could put back in. And if you are a purpose driven woman over 40, that can feel really frustrating because you have a lot you want to do, people you want to help, and a life you want to fully show up for. But your energy is just not matching your heart. So in this video, I want to talk about the 4 areas you need to pay attention to so you do not end every evening completely wiped out. So I know a lot of you ladies out there are struggling to rest because you have been taught that you need to be the strong one, the dependable one, the helpful one, the one who keeps everything together. So if you're not producing something, fixing something, helping or managing things, it can feel like you are dropping the ball. And then there's the pressure to look like you have everything together, the perfect life, the perfect family, the perfect career or business. But you see that pressure? It is exhausting. And the truth is, your worth is not tied to your accomplishment or in how well you keep up appearances. Your worth is in God. And when you shift from trying to live up to the expectations of the world and the people around you to living in alignment with God's truth, you stop carrying the weight of proving yourself, performing for acceptance, and living like the whole world will fall apart if you slow down. So there's a verse in Matthew 11:28 that goes like this: "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." And that's Jesus speaking. So when I look at that verse, what comes to mind is a picture of people who are worn out, loaded down, and exhausted from carrying way too much. And so Jesus is saying, I will give you rest. And so he's not talking about sleep. He's talking about the kind of rest that help you feel restored from the inside out. So that means rest cannot be a sign of weakness. It's an invitation God is giving us because He knows we need it. And part of answering that invitation is learning to stop pushing through the signals your body sends. Because you see, fatigue, tension, brain fog, and the sharp fuse, they are not random. It is your body trying to get your attention. And so wisdom says slow down long enough to understand what your body is saying. And when you do, you begin to realize you don't just need a break. You actually need to reframe how you see rest and accept that invitation God is offering you. Because this part was important, reframe how we see rest. And when we do, we can begin to pay more attention to the other areas that might be draining our energy. Because sometimes you don't just need more sleep. You need to restore the part of you that has been carrying too much. And so a lot of women, they're not just physically tired by the end of the day. We are also mentally tired. Most of us are at our desks all day, on the screen, thinking, planning, solving problems, trying to remember different things and juggling one thing after the other. And if you are in a leadership role, there is even more pressure because you have more high stake decisions to make, managing people, and lots more responsibilities. And then when work ends, your brain just can't shut off because now you have to be thinking about the children, pickups, lessons, practice, dinner, tomorrow's schedule, and everything else that needs to happen at home. And so the science has shown us when your brain stays on for long periods of time, you become mentally fatigued, which can affect your focus, your clarity, and your working memory. And that's why making time to slow down matters. And this may look like taking a short break from those mentally demanding work. So instead of pushing through the day, you switch from a high focus task to something that is not as intense for just a few minutes. And something as simple as a few minutes of stillness can be effective. Deep breathing, praying, this can help your mind slow down. And it can also look like getting your thoughts out of your head and onto paper because sometimes your mind is racing. So journaling or making a list can help you offload what you're carrying so your brain doesn't have to process everything at once. It may also look like using technology to handle some repetitive tasks to automate your work, delegating responsibility at work, or at home, getting support where it makes sense or is available to you. Because the thing is, if you're trying to do everything yourself, oversee everything yourself, and mentally track everything yourself, your brain will definitely need to get a break at some point throughout the day. Now, let's talk about what you have been carrying emotionally. Because sometimes the reason you feel so tired is not just because of your work, it is because of the emotional weight you are carrying. So, you see those thoughts and conversations you keep replaying? The fears, the frustrations, the resentment you hold on to. And so that's why managing those emotions matters. And I think it starts with being honest. Being honest about what you really feel rather than trying to suppress your emotions. So it may look like talking to a trusted friend, processing things with a counselor, journaling, or releasing those emotions to God. And the other aspect to that is building awareness because you see those thought patterns, they can be draining. You want to begin to notice them so they do not keep running in the background all day. And so sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to catch that thought, name it, and ask yourself, is this truth or is this a story I'm telling myself? Sometimes managing your emotions may look like setting boundaries because when you're always available, always responding, always carrying a conversation, and always tending to other people's needs, it will wear you down. So boundaries may look like saying no to what is emotionally draining you. So put your phone on, do not disturb sometimes. Spend less time with people who leave you worn out. And be more intentional about spending time with people who make you feel supported, safe, and energized. Because as you know, every connection does not restore you. Some people will drain your energy. And the same thing goes with thought patterns. They can be draining. And so learning to build that emotional awareness is key. So we look at the importance of reframing how we see rest and seeing it as an invitation to allow God to take control of our situations. And then we looked at emotional and mental overload. So now let's look at the last area, sensory overload. So it happens when your brain and your nervous system are taking on so much stimulation that you start to feel irritated or overwhelmed. So a lot of women, we don't realize that is happening. But if you're honest, we are exposed to a lot of things during the day: noise, screens, notification, bright lights, emails, social media. And that constant input is not good for our health. Because even when we finally get to sit down, our nervous system might still feel like it's on. And that's why taking breaks from those constant stimulation matters so much. And so sometimes it may look like putting your phone down instead of reaching for it every 5 seconds. It may look like dimming the lights, stepping away from the noise, sitting in quiet, just going outside. Because I think a lot of us have gotten so used to doing all the time, we don't realize how overstimulated we are. So get this, you will be standing in a line, and the first thing you do is what? Grab your phone. You will have a quiet moment, and you automatically have to turn something on. But sometimes all your body needs is less input, not more. So it's okay sometimes to be bored, to be alone with your thoughts, to be alone with God, because that space will be more restorative than you think. This is definitely something that I need to be more intentional about. So what I have been working on is when I'm out, I try to look up and engage with people as opposed to just picking up my phone and scrolling. So engaging in conversation because you don't know, what you might learn, who you might meet, or how it might feel just to be present in the moment. The truth is, many women over 40 are not just tired because life is busy. They're tired because their energy is being drained in ways they never pay attention to. So it could be in how you view rest, the mental, emotional, or sensory load that you're carrying. So I want you to ask yourself, which of these four areas I need to pay attention to? And then just make one small change this week to begin to plug that leak. Because when you stop ignoring these energy leaks, you do not just feel better. You show up better. You think better. You lead better. You love better. And this matters as a purpose driven woman over 40. Because the truth is, your energy helps to support your ability to fully live out what is on your heart. The truth is, the devil loves a tired, distracted woman. Because a distracted mind cannot walk fully in purpose. So if you're a woman over 40 ready to reclaim your focus, protect your peace, and start letting exhaustion steal your calling, join me for the 5-day Detox Challenge, a gentle guided reset to help your body release what has been weighing it down and restore what has been missing. So click the link below to reserve your spot now. See you there.